I am here with Gillian Robertson fighting at UFC 297 in Toronto, a hometown show for the Canadian girl. Coming back from Florida, though, are you ready for the cold weather in Toronto in January? Because I hope you're packing warm.
I think that's my only real worry about this fight. I'm definitely not ready for the cold weather. I need to probably bring a couple bags. I don't even know if I have the right clothes to go up there right now, but I'm gonna be ready for the cold, and I'm super ready to be able to perform in front of a Canadian crowd, be it back home. It's just gonna be amazing.
Well, it has been a while since you were in Canada. The last time was UFC 240 in Edmonton, I believe. Obviously, you had the crowd behind you there, but not the same as in your, birth province, near your hometown. I mean, have you kind of envisioned what this might be like?
I literally got tears in my eyes as soon as I found out that it was in Toronto. I was so excited. Like you said, the only time I've ever fought in Canada was Edmonton, so all the way across the country. And this time it's a little bit closer to home. Last time it was the first time I ever got a TKO and the only time I ever got a TKO. So I'm counting Canada as my good omen and hoping we go for another one.
Yeah, I saw that prediction. I was going to bring it up a bit later, but yeah, that's that is going to be something to keep an eye on, obviously. I'll ask you this, though. Obviously, you were born in the Niagara region, and I think you still have some family there. Are they going to get to come out to the show?
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of family and friends that have everybody's been hitting me up since it's been announced, trying to get tickets, trying to come out. Obviously, tickets are a little bit pricey, so for this card, so I'm like, I know a lot of people haven't exactly been able to make it, but I will have a lot of support out there, and I'm just super excited to be able to put on a show for them.
Now, this is the UFC's second trip to Canada since the pandemic. We had UFC 289 in Vancouver earlier this year. Clean sweep by the Canadians. Do you think you can repeat that success?
I think we have to. I think it is to do with the energy in there, the crowd in there. Honestly, there is no moment in my career I can compare to my Sarah Frodo fight. Whenever winning there in front of a Canadian crowd was absolutely insane, and I can only imagine how it's going to be in Toronto.
Well, it's going to be a good one. Before we get to it, we'll go back to the last one. Tabitha Ricci didn't go your way, but what were the takeaways from that? And is there anything you would have done differently?
Um, I can't fight that soon at 115. At 125, that was very easy for me to make quick turnarounds, go right back into the fight, and just making the weight cut to 115, it takes so much out of me mentally and physically that after my 12-week camp with Piera, I was just so burnt out 100% taking that Tabitha Ricci fight. I'm like every single day, I just knew it was going to be hard. I knew every single day I was crying on the exercise bike doing my cardio, I was carrying 4 extra pounds all camp long just because my body was stressed. It wasn't letting go of the weight. So it's I just physically don't think I'm capable of taking fights back to back like that if I'm going to be fighting at 115. And that was really the biggest learning experience because fight night, I wasn't there. I wasn't able to perform. I didn't give the crowd what they came to see. And it's that loss, honestly, it's hard to say that I've been so depressed after any losses I have after that one, because it's just I knew it was happening the whole time and I was trying so hard to make it not happen. It's I was working hard every day, but I just knew I was burnt out and I wasn't listening to my body. So that's the biggest takeaway.
You touched on my next question there, and I was going to ask you about the weight cuts at 115 and how you were finding them. With that in mind, if a short notice opportunity came up at 125, would you consider that and kind of juggle the divisions? Or are you thinking, no, I'll just spread my fights out more? Because I know you like to fight often, you like to stay busy.
I guess if it depends if it's the right opponent at 125, I might take it. But ideally, it's I want to be ranked. I want to try to make a title run. So it's I would have to stay in the 115 division to be able to do that. The cut honestly isn't too bad if I just have time for it. It just takes a lot of focus and a lot of energy during the camp. But the first time when I fought Piera Rodriguez, I was walking 117 the day before. I ended up sweating 1.5 pounds, I think. So it was absolutely easy. And then it was just too quick of a turnaround the next one. Like I said, I was carrying 4 pounds extra. So I think it took me 5 hours to sweat it out. And it was just a terrible cut. So I think that was the big difference.
How much of a lifestyle change has it been to change divisions like that? Has your diet altered completely? How have you approached it?
Yeah, I guess at 125, I could honestly pretty much eat what I wanted to. I'd eat fairly healthy, but eat what I want to until like say 2 weeks out. Then I would start really cleaning it up and get myself down to like 130, 128, and then cut from there. But as a 115er, I'm already walking like 127, 128. So I'm honestly like fight weight right now for 125. I'm good to go. But I do. I've changed my diet completely. There's no snacks. There's no cheating on it. And I do cardio 4 times a week, where I really didn't incorporate cardio. I was 25er.
Are you doing this on your own, or do you work with a nutritionist or consult with the PI, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm consulting with the PI always. So I've worked with them since I started cutting down to 115. The PI's helped me, and it made it a lot easier.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, and I had seen this, you posted it on Instagram, and you just mentioned it a few moments ago, was talking about the burnout after that last fight. And I'm curious how long it took to bounce back, if you'd ever experienced anything like that before.
Uh, like this fight, no, I haven't. Honestly, I've trained for 12 years now, and I've never taken a full week off ever until this last fight. Like after the Tabitha fight, I took 1 full week off. The next week, I kind of just trained when I want to. So I wasn't in the gym full time. I just trained like 1 or 2 times, I think. But it was my longest time off of training, and I was just so burnt out. Honestly, I just kind of wanted to be away from the sport. I didn't want anything to do with it. I feel like after taking a little bit of time, kind of getting back into it, finding my love a little bit again. And it's like when when you don't have a fight in front of you, you're able to just have fun with the sport instead of it's always work all the time. And it's like that's what it was for. It was 6 months of work and 6 months of cutting weight and 6 months of just high intensity that just left me 100% at zero.
So I guess moving forward, I mean, the good thing is you found your love again. Do you think maybe, after fights, you might start taking a little bit of time off just to make sure you avoid that burnout in future?
I think as a 15er, I'll need to. And I think it's just, I don't know, it's part about like growing up in the sport, making more mature decisions around my fight career. I feel like if I am going to be cutting down to that weight, I need to take the time. I'm not going to be fighting as often. And that's just the fact of it right now.
So last one I'll ask on this then. Safe to say if you're fighting in Toronto in January, you're not going to be fighting in March in Miami.
No, I am 100%. I've had a couple of people ask me about that, and that was I feel like my biggest downfall in my last fight. I was like, it's Jacksonville. We're getting in Florida. This is going to be awesome. It's a ranked opponent. It's a girl I called out. And it was just, I was too excited about that and completely neglected how I felt. So I'm like, this fight, I'm shutting it down completely. I'm going to be in the seats at Miami, hopefully, and just watching the fights.
Fair enough. Now we can get to this fight. January 20th, Polyana Viana in Toronto. I saw, and like you mentioned, you're predicting maybe a TKO finish. If not, I think you know what you'll go for there, the submission if you can't get the TKO. But how do you see this fight playing out, and what are your thoughts on her as an opponent?
Polyana and I actually trained a little bit together at ATT a couple years ago. So we have a little bit of a familiar feel. I know she's a well-versed grappler. She's got obviously that beautiful TKO against Jin Frey. So she's got very precise hands, but I do think that she's a little bit too comfortable on her back to be fighting someone like me. She's not she's too comfortable sitting there a lot of times where it's like, I'm going to be able to work my game. I'm going to be able to work my ground and pound and either get the TKO or the sub.
Coming down from, excuse me, 125 again, have you felt a difference in the strength and your power at all?
I guess for me, I've never really thought it makes too much a difference. I've always put it on technique and just focused purely on technique. So I think that's like the always been my biggest element. So I don't think like I don't think I'm the strongest or most powerful person. So I feel like everybody's like strong and powerful to me.
Fair enough. You know, I was going to say, speaking of the TKO finish, you want to go for that. And I'm wondering if part of that, you mentioned, hey, I got one in Edmonton. Toronto's the good luck charm, or Canada's the good luck charm. Is it also about kind of showing that you're a well-rounded fighter, not just kind of a throat cuddle machine?
100%. It's like I want to show people. I want to be a complete mixed martial artist. Ideally, I would love to finish the fight on the feet one day. I don't think I've really developed the correct mechanics to be able to do so at this point. But it's like I want that girl to be scared of me no matter where we are. If we're on the feet, if I'm on top of you, if I'm under, like if I'm in guard, it doesn't matter. I want you to be scared. So that's my ideal goal.
Love it. I want you to be scared. I like that ominous. I'm gonna say, toot my own horn. Throat Cuddle Machine would be an awesome band name. Um, getting on to a few lighter questions. Obviously, we're coming into Christmas. You are cutting weight for a fight. You're not going to get to do the big meal and celebration. Are you going to do? I was talking to Jasmine the other day. She's fighting on the card as well. They're going to do something after the fight. Are you going to do anything similar to kind of push the holiday celebration back a bit?
I guess I haven't even thought about like pushing it back. I just kind of like, for me, being in a fight camp, it's like blinders on. We're just focused on training. So like Thanksgiving Day, I was training. Christmas Day, I'm going to be training. New Year's Day, I'm going to be training. That's just until January 20th. That's all I'm focused on. But maybe that's a good idea. She has a good idea there. Some festivities after.
I like it. And you can celebrate the win. I'm going to ask you as well. What is the best Christmas present you could get this year?
Um, Another dog. Let's add more to the collection. My
Okay,
boyfriend says no, though.
so we've got one there. You can, because this is going to go up on YouTube and everything. You can introduce this one now.
This one's Gordo. He is a 4-year-old long-haired Chihuahua who has alopecia, so he's like hairless all down his back. And I rescued him in June.
And then you've rescued the other one's a rescue as well, right?
Yeah, her name's Harley. She was actually from the exact same rescue as him. He has such bad separation anxiety with me that he just like he'll stare at my front door for like 5 hours if I'm gone all day. It doesn't matter. He just stares at the door. So I was like, all right, let's get him a friend. So hopefully he won't do that anymore. And now he's just kind of like drawn her into it. So she just sits and looks at him and he stares at the door while I'm gone.
That kind of backfired, but that's
Yeah,
awesome. And
exactly.
it's great that you're rescuing them as well. That's very, very admirable. I love it. You're getting this one early in 2024. We've talked about kind of you might have to slow down at 115, but all things go well in January. What's kind of your goal for 2024? Do you have anything mapped out?
I definitely want at least one more fight, maybe two if we could fit it in. Since I'm fighting it in January, I think we might be able to fit a second one, maybe like December. But I just want to be able to show that I am, well, obviously, next fight, I want a ranked opponent, and I want to show that I am worthy of being a ranked fighter right now. It's like that's my goal, is just to get ranked, start moving up the ranks, and then it's like I want to start looking for title shots within the next couple of years. So I just want to keep on moving up in the division and prove that I am capable of doing it.
Step by step. And you're fighting on a big card here, and we saw what happened last night between Sean Strickland, Dricus Duplessis. What are your thoughts of what's going on with them and fighting on a card that now has this kind of attention on it?
I guess I've never seen someone get under Sean Strickland's skin like that. I'm like, it seems like at press conferences he was already mad, and then last night I saw Dana in the post fight saying he accidentally sat them next to each other, but I'm like, just like, whose idea was this? Like, why are you going to put these two guys who obviously hate each other right next to each other with Gilbert Burns' son in the middle? But obviously added a lot of hype to the event, made it a lot of people want to see this fight a lot more. And it's just awesome to be on a big card, especially in Canada.
Well, it's going to be a good one. Jillian, best of luck in the fight, January 20th, Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. Looking forward to it. I will see you there. Going to be at this one backstage, and best of luck again in the fight.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Always. Thanks again, Jillian. You have a great day.
You too.
Bring all the warm clothes. I guarantee you, you're going to need it.
Oh, yeah.
All right.